It's always exciting to hear about utility companies who are willing to share their ideas and then also hear your ideas as well. So definitely reach out to Paul for that. Our next session is going to be really brief as I move this. Next up, we have Deepak Garg, CEO and founder of SEW, who will be doing a brief Q&A with Paul Lau. Please help me in welcoming them both to the stage.
So all of you feel the energy? Yeah. It's not coffee, it's Paul. No, I think I'm so excited, always, when I talk to you, Paul, And my first meeting, I know that I'm going again off track. My first meeting was 30-minute planned with Paul in his office. And ultimately, I think we end up talking for 1 hour, 40 minutes. And I was keep listening, talking, ideas, talking. And any section I cover, from a customer to grid to anything, security, cloud, Paul have the answers for that. And he can click that. Deepak, what you guys are doing in that area? And I was says, Paul, finding a person having all these different dimensions of information in our industry or even any other industry is very difficult. So first of all, thank you, being a partner, being the part of this industry, and I know that you always come up with all these new great ideas which make impact, not only to Smart, but at the same time we've seen that, we work together for a lot of engagement, and I know that you're working with a lot of the technology companies, irrespective of those hardware and battery I love. And I know the Eric's, company, the battery company, but it's, as we all been talking about, from a day one till today, we don't want to only talk, we want to act. And I think we have Smart and we have a Paul who demonstrate that we want to act on it. So Paul, in that context, when we look in the future, and I know that, and this is again one more so-called lunch conversation, when I was talking to Paul and Paul was talking about Deepak, like a lot of these things, all the heat wave and demand and everything and all. And I said, Paul, do you, for good reason, do you feel that how much cool energy companies are, how cool is water companies, a gas company, solar companies are? Because he was talking about Deepak, and I will not name certain companies like that, but let me name that, the Teslas and Amazon and Apple and all. And because I get into it and he get into it, and then I said, Paul, tell me one thing, you are running one of the most important commodity in Smart. If you don't run it the way it is running, Smart cannot run it. They need the power, and you're providing 24/7 power. You're providing 24/7 customer service. You're providing the most reliable service that damn Amazon cannot provide, because I know that we have a lot of delays in the packaging, and all the good reasons, we call Tesla as a cool company. I'm sorry to say, Elon Musk created a great EV, but I'm sorry, all the energy companies feeding that EV, for all the good reason. If there's no power, there's no EV. I'm sorry to say, we can talk about everything, but I have a Tesla. Damn, if I don't have power, what I'm going to do? I'm going to get the Uber, which is going to be a combustion engine. And we were talking, I said, for me, Smart is cool. For me, all the Brian is cool. James is cool. All the energy leaders are cool. Because what we do and what we are doing, a lot of people don't know because we don't market ourselves. So I want to talk about, I'm sorry, that we get that during, it doesn't matter what. When we look in the future, this is the most important commodity, water, power. What do you see we as an industry are going to play the role in the future? And I know that I heard a lot from you, but I think this audience needs to learn from you, a little bit more. Please.
Well, first of all, thank you, Deepak, for those kind words. I wouldn't say I have the answer when you ask me those questions. I just had an opinion because I worked there for 40 years, and I've been the chief customer officer, technology officer, energy supply officer, delivery officer. The big joke in my family is that I couldn't keep a job longer than 5 years, but luckily it's with the same company. So I think going forward, it's really the theme that we're talking about. Traditionally, utilities are very, very good in running the plants, right? Keeping the grids reliable, and keeping the rates, fairly affordable. I mean, that's what utilities are good at. So going forward, I think the utilities absolutely have to engage their communities and their customers as partners, as I said earlier. Not just somebody, a customer that I'm serving, but really an integral part of the partner. Because right now for SMUD, customers are investing in EVs, rooftop solar, batteries, energy efficiencies. They're investing actually more in what we call DERs, things beyond the meter than things that we're actually doing to upgrade the grid, especially when you're talking about a lot of utilities now are moving away from gas, right? So they're looking about reducing their investments and really think about this transition. So one of the things that I think that utilities need to do is really make sure people understand. Make sure people understand the importance of electricity, but more importantly, how their behavior impacts the need for utilities to upgrade the system, to do investments. And so if you can actually have customers understand how the behaviors impacts the investment utilities has and how it impacts the grid's operations, and if for them to be willing to come in to be part of that solution, I think that's really where we need to go. And so one of the things that we're doing, and we're very fortunate, our board is really, I'm going to say, out-of-the-box thinkers, are pretty progressive thinkers. So one of the things we always ask utilities, don't be afraid to try something new. It won't be perfect. I know me and Brian had dinner yesterday, right? I mean, utilities traditionally have a lot of areas that we have rules and regulations that you can't really violate. But there's a lot of areas that you could try and innovate, and especially when it comes to the customer service side of it. Yes, you need to keep, your cybersecurity, you need to keep all those data safe, and you need to make sure you do accurate billing, and you got to make sure that, I'm going to say the block and tackle. But engaging in customer with campaigns about letting them understand, shifting a little behavior could have a huge difference in how the grid is operated, and how much investment that you have on the grid, and how we can actually keep your rates low. And I think that's the part that utilities, a lot of times, we talk about it, but we don't actually have programs that customer can do something. So that's why we're launching even something as simple as enrolling your thermostat. And if you have 100,000 people enroll, and when you click on the button and it delivers, right, that you can give our operators the confidence that the power is going to be there, or the load drop is going to be there, that they don't have to go on a mass scramble in the power market to replace that power, it benefits everyone. But I think the problem is that because utilities, I hate to say that, I mean, we're still not that cool compared to the Teslas of the world or the Apples of the world. So it's really hard to get time on the customer's consciousness. On average, we do surveys every year. Customers think about the utility about 7 minutes. And this include paying the bill and reporting an outage. I can tell you my kids spend 7 minutes on TikTok in the first hour of the day. So we are looking at new ways to engage the new generation. I think we're the first utility to actually use TikTok. We had a contest last year, TikTok for young kids, and we had like over a couple 100,000 hits on little clips. That's 1 or 2 minutes, and we had a contest. It's really cool to think about engaging kids. So we have a movement that we call right now in Sacramento called, Clean Power My City, and Join the Charge. So this year we're on task to have 50,000 of our customers to sign up something called Join the Charge. We want to get every single one of our customers to join the charge. It's really give them things that they can do to either shift the load, pre-cool, put in start thermostats. If you think about having a charger, talk to SMUD before you actually buy a charger. Understand we have different rate options for you. Understand where's the rate incentives that we have. And we have something called the SMUD, the website, that you can go to the SMUD website and buy energy efficiencies, equipments, and get EV installed, and the one-stop shop to get your rebates, everything at that one time. So we want to get in front of our customers as much as possible, but in a way that can really help them manage their energy use, hopefully lower the bill, and more importantly, make them feel good that they're doing something for the community, for the kind of the health being of the community itself, but really about thinking about making the world a better place for the future generations. So we want to have that emotional connections. That's one thing that WE3 is trying to build right now. How do you build that emotional connections with our 1.5 million, basically people living in the Sacramento area, on the 9-county region, and how do we do that? And we are very, very active right now working with the different local agencies. In fact, we just had what we call regional zero emissions vehicles strategy for the whole region, the 4 agencies that we actually worked together for the last year, and we go into our board, go into community meetings to do that. And then the other piece that we're doing, I think is very exciting, is that we are completely electrifying whole underserved communities. So SMUD funded, there's about a community in town that is extremely low income. The house, it's just ripe for energy efficiency measures, but they don't have the resources to do that. So we are actually going in and doing it for the whole neighborhood, about like 30 homes. Oh no, sorry, about 60 homes in those neighborhoods. And we actually have put in a grant to do 300 next year in other underserved communities. So we're trying to get out there and say, SMUD, what we're trying to accomplish, the reason for existence, and how you can help, how we can help to make Sacramento a better place, not just for the energy side, but really the quality of life. I know that's a very long answer to your question, but I thought it was important for me to talk about.
I love it because I want to quote what you just said because we had this conversation. And I know I have to change that. That's my commitment to Paul. We have to change that. The utilities are cooler than Apple and Uber and Amazon. And it's not, we are saying, if you guys, for good reason, all of you should be checking, I'm going to look like a little bit sales pitch for that. The utilities who are running right now on SW platform, currently on the mobile and the web, their rating is 4.9, 4.8, and that is better than Uber 4.6 running. They engage more and more active with their utilities. And I love that, Paul, you made that statement too, because about California, one more thing I want to underscore that the whole Oklahoma state is running with that digital communication for running their DI program for the last 4.5 years, SmartUp program. And we talk, and this is what me and Paul had this conversation about, the DI program cannot be only for the people who are buying all these thermostats, a battery, which is good for all of us. They should be, but it is for everybody. And I think we've seen the result of what happened. When the people engage in real time with all the channels, available to them, and I think that information in a very easy way, when it's available to the people, they will engage. There's no way they will not engage. And I think this is where SW and SMUD is working to bringing that more and more of that digital platform in the hand of and I just love that what the SMUD team already did. It's such a great work they did from a digital standpoint, and we are as a partner working together to ensure that next time when the Paul on the stage in the next WE3, he said, we are cooler than Apple and we are cooler than Amazon and we are cooler than, because they are, and SMUD is, and all the utilities are cooler, for all the good reasons. So thank you, Paul.
Thank you.
I know that we don't want to, because I know Jason already said that, Deepak, right on the time today. A lot of people have a flights in the, but guys, thank you, and Paul, for all your time. I'm looking forward for our partnership and more participation and listening a lot.